Hey you. Yes, you. Have you ever been born? Well, if you have, then I got some good news for you, because you've probably heard of doctors. But have you heard of just how many of these pricey practicing practitioners there are in this humble habitat of humanitarianism we like to call a hospital? No? Good. I'm here to tell you about my favorite flavors of doctors, ranging from, yeah, that makes sense, to, what? But first, in order to really gauge the absurdity of some of these specialists, I've created a chart on how likely you'd be to find yourself in one of these doctor's offices. I've cleverly named it the SUMEN chart. Shut up, that doesn't look any other word. SUMEN, of course, being an acronym for Seek Effective Medical Attention Now, with the higher the number ranging from 1 to 100, the stranger the diagnosis. Your primary care practitioner is the standard doctor that you go to for most of your issues. They're the ones who do your yearly checkups, hold your crotch and tell you to cough, and write prescriptions when you're sick. They could probably generalize what issue you have, but for any more serious problems, they usually kick you down the line to someone more specialized. On my scale, they get a 2. ENTs, or specialize in the ear, nose, and throat, in diseases that usually pertain mostly to children, and are probably one of the more regular specialized doctors. If you have a particularly bad ear infection or a particularly bad sore throat that just won't go away, an ENT is probably who you will be sent to. They get a 15. Oncologists are one of those groups of doctors that you hope you never have to meet, not because they're rude or anything, but because they specialize in cancer. They diagnose and develop treatment plans for cancers, such as chemotherapy or targeted radiation. These are the kind of guys that empathy and helping your patient develop a positive mindset is almost just as important as treatment itself. They get a 40, about the same percentage of people who will receive a cancer diagnosis in their lifetime. Okay, let's move on to the funny doctor. Proctologists specialize in the rectum or colon, which is just a nice way of saying they get to look at butts all day, which I guess I've heard of worse job descriptions. The biggest issue they have to deal with is when someone else gets their custom license plates, or when someone sits on a statue made of fusilli. 1,000,000 to 1 odds, doc. They get a 60, as in stop putting things up there. Stop it. Pathologists focus on the spread of deadly and contagious diseases. They're usually called in when other doctors are at a loss. They analyze bodily tissues and fluid to determine what illnesses may be working through the population. Because of this, they mostly spend their time over a microscope, which I just have terrible memories of back in high school. If you can come up with some kind of witty joke for these guys, please email me. I could pay you in Oreos. They get an 82, as in, achoo. Get it? Last but not least, you get these early modern edgelords. Plague doctors worked during the time of the Black Plague in Europe, and they've stuck in the public consciousness due to their iconic masks. Due to the relatively low amount of medical knowledge during the time, most of these doctors were just angst teenagers going through the rebellious phase. Perhaps the most famous plague doctor was Nostradamus, who rose to fame with his discovery and medical breakthroughs, such as drink clean water and remove dead people from your immediate vicinity. Thanks, Notre Dame. They get a 94, as in, you won't find these guys no more.